putting a goddamn fuel pump. Fuck you, church. Why would you put? No, but seriously, what retard thought it would be a good idea to put a fuel pump on the top of a gas tank where you can't get to it without dropping the whole goddamn tank? Who thought that was a good idea?
Well, I mean, would it be the same kind? Would it be the same kind of person who would think it'd be a good idea to have his audience chant "rape her" at a professional wrestling match?
Probably.
Hey, we have that on the ticket tonight.
I mean, I just want to point out
I'm actually prepared, gentlemen.
We're on Rumble, aren't we?
We're on Rumble and YouTube, but it doesn't matter.
Fuck it.
Say what you got to say.
No, I was going to say, it's
I waited.
Like it's 30 seconds in, and we've already said offensive words.
Well, no, we're describing an actual news story that involves one Ethan Christ is King Ralph.
Yeah,
because nothing says that you're a very good Christian person by encouraging your audience to tell a woman that you hope she gets raped.
Right. Well, I mean, this is very America first.
Before we get into this, though, I told you guys I might have a surprise for you tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ayrton was concerned because I'm sure he thought it was someone with a larger penis than his micro penis.
That's not. What kind of?
But you might want to. You might want to put me on the big boy screen for a minute.
Okay. All right. Oh, he groomed himself.
God damn.
He's groomed himself.
Oh, you got like beard
product.
I got the stuff. Yeah. Got the product.
Whatever it was you ordered. Nice. How do you like it?
It's called beard butter, which is a horrible name. It's gonna take some practice, and I think my facial fuzz has to get used to it. Because one side took immediately to being adjusted, the other one's like, "No, I want to be limp. It's stupid."
Did I tell you about my buddies like beard care products and stuff? Did I send you that link?
You didn't. What, to Beast?
Yeah, the Beast based.
Yeah, that's where I got the butter. I sent them a message to their.
Oh, you did get that one.
Yeah, I sent them. I sent a message to them. I'm like, "Can your fixative work on mustaches as well?" They're like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Done."
Yeah, so it's all beef tallow, or it's made with reduced beef tallow and tallow
I have rubbed meat onto my face to make me more manly.
Dude, it's so good. You'll notice everything
smells nice too. It's like sandalwood and stuff.
Yeah, and in a couple of weeks you'll notice stuff kind of like almost fill in a bit better and stuff too. Yeah, it's really, really good.
This is the
difficult part.
The gay portion of the show. Let me just get the.
We're talking about beard grooming. Yeah, no. How is this gay?
I said this was. Oh, this is very metrosexual. Here's the thing. When I talk ill of my when I talk ill of my father being a poor example of masculinity, okay, I learned how to properly shave because my mom liked to watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. That's how I learned how to shave.
I've successfully guessed what kind of cigar Ayrton is smoking.
Exactly.
No, this one's long and thin.
Oh, so it's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. How would you know this, Rune?
I've known plenty of Puerto Ricans.
Hold up. So are we talking like a cigarillo kind of situation, Ayrton?
No, it's a Churchill size, so it's a 7 by 42.
Yeah, if it was a cigarillo, I would actually give you less crap because, I mean, that is what the man with no name smoked. He did not smoke cigarettes.
So what kind of wrap are we talking about on that bad boy?
Oh, fuck. So this is a cheap bundle cigar from Drew Estates. So it was a bundle of 25 for, well, normal retail's like $70, but I got it for like 60 or like 55.
So when we were going to go from talking about a bundle of cigars to a bundle of sticks named Ethan Ralph.
I'm guessing you didn't catch Mania, Ayrton.
No, I haven't caught shit in the past week.
Look, no matter how gay the last 5 minutes were, nothing is more gay than Ethan Ralph. I have learned this from being here.
So, Ralphomania.
Ethan Ralph somehow made the most boring professional wrestling show of all time.
Even worse. Yeah. So, first off, the best parts of the show happened in the first, 5-10 minutes? After being 45 minutes late to start. He was served not once, not twice, but 3 to 5 times court papers at this event.
So this was one of the father-in-law's grandfathers of one of his illegitimate children.
Hold on, I'm gonna put my Medicare hat on for this segment.
You should, because Dick Masterson was wearing a Sweetie Squad shirt.
I unfortunately do not own a periwig. Otherwise, I would totally put on the curls for this.
But yeah, so what Vickers said was, he set up multiple servicers for this paperwork because he wanted to make sure it got done.
Yeah.
One guy stuck the paperwork inside a toilet
before the event so that he didn't have to try and smuggle it in. He pulled the old Godfather technique.
Wait, like stuck it in the back, in
a plastic bag.
Plastic bag in the tank. That guy deserves
that. I should have pulled that up.
Oh, that guy deserves every dollar he was paid for that work.
Oh God, I need to pull that up. Where is it at? I think that's on Pod Awful, right?
Yeah.
In matter of point, I believe we should all become judges because we should judge this harshly.
Yes.
Let's see if I can't find that.
Also, as a consequence of Ethan Ralph being at a professional wrestling match, he had to deal with the consequence of the standardized height of professional wrestling ropes.
I did see that.
Copy.
I mean, I will admit, really strong dudes go over the top rope, but the fact of the matter is that you generally go over the middle.
Well, no, that's not the problem.
He had to go on the bottom rope.
He had to go to the bottom. But that's not the problem, is the standardized height of a set of ring ropes is 5 foot 1 inches.
Okay.
So if you stand next to a ring rope, an approximation of your height can be made.
Right. So they were able to identify him by height?
No. Ethan Ralph was
I don't think Rune knows that. I don't
maybe
know if
5'7".
I don't know if Rune knows this lore.
I do not.
Ethan Ralph has said he's a tall boy.
And so everyone's been saying he's 5'1", and it gets him really pissed off.
But anyway, this isn't the point. Ethan Ralph's feltoning is nothing new. This is not the issue that.
The action he's accused of, which he apparently did, is super offensive.
Well, after the serving and after the wrestling event got underway, through no fault at all of the performers, the camera angle was trash, so I couldn't actually judge the event for anything.
Yeah.
Some gentleman that looked like Destiny got beat up by a couple of girls. But
that plays.
But I don't think it was actually Destiny, but that's the lore, so I'm going to stick with it. Anyway,
Teddy Hart, the nephew of Bret the Hitman Hart, who is also a convicted sex offender, backed out at the last minute of
noped out of the event. Yep, noped out of the event. But
he knew Ethan was going to be there and said, "Man, I can't associate with that kind of person."
Brittany Jade at Sad Hooligan on Twitter was one of the wrestlers at the event. And shortly after the end of the event, she posted to Twitter, "Things that happened during my match tonight in New Jersey. 1, a guy screamed rape her while I was in submission hold by a guy. Things that shouldn't have fucking happened. That." So this got the IWC on the internet wrestling community for those unindoctrinated.
Many people were enlightened to the fact that, oh, bro, you're an Ethan Ralph offense. This all checks out.
So Emily J at Emily J Pro One thing I will always do is stand by my friend, and this is a public warning to any workers: do not take any bookings through this man or company. So after one event, Ethan Ralph has been blackballed as a wrestling promoter from his promotion called Sunset Wrestling, where he and Michael Sisko scheduled this whole thing.
Wait. He's the promoter.
Yeah.
He set this up.
Yeah.
He did.
And he wasn't just a dude in the crowd.
Right.
He was also doing commentary, and he was terrible.
Now, he's
at
not the
commentary.
one accused of saying this, Rune. Hold on. He's not the one accused of saying this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's just one of his rabid fans who paid for a ticket to this event at a bingo hall.
right.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
let's not forget
Jesus
that this
Christ.
happens on the cusp of him having been married like a day or two prior.
Yes,
Oh,
this was
man,
his
I mean-
honeymoon.
Yes, where he made his newlywed wife work concession at his wrestling event. Now, who was watching the child?
my
No one
God.
knows.
What
Maybe it's
combination of genetic failure leads to this level of
Did
stupidity?
they leave the baby with Corinne, Larry?
I don't know. Or maybe
I was
it's
going to
like
say
No,
with
Venezuela
Pot
back in
Awful.
Mexico.
Well, no, obviously, because we are talking about savages, she wore the baby on a backpack, and when it was hungry, she just turned it around and held it to her breast at the concession.
no.
Obviously.
No, his wife is a horse. She doesn't wear a backpack. She wears a saddle.
Okay. I mean, still, you know, they live
No,
off the land. They carry the child with them wherever they go.
No,
No,
horse. Horse, not whore. With an
Like
S.
clip
Rune.
clop, clip clop.
No, I heard horse.
Oh.
I'm saying, obviously, she just
No,
carries
no,
the
no.
child
No.
in a saddlebag.
She didn't. No. The baby was nowhere to be found. I suspect they either left the baby in Mexico with a bowl of food and water, or
And a litter box.
or they had
maybe Consuela next door showed up.
or maybe they had Corinne show up to the event to babysit. Maybe that's what
It's
she was
been
doing there.
trafficked to China for a small.
Besides trying to
amount
have
of money.
sex with Wooza.
So what
Corinne
did you think of the comment? What did you think of the commentary from Ethan Ralph and Beardson?
What commentary? I could barely hear it over the Kino Casinos. Medicare masochist for $20. Whoa!
Look, as a absolute novice in the concept, right? But I have watched some wrestling. The model is there. You know how to do it correctly. How do you fuck up this bad?
Well, they had a stationary camera pointed at the corner of the ring.
Hmm?
No.
Yeah, the one
Mhm.
camera.
They had one
That's
camera.
not what you do.
Yeah, and it was
Wait,
pointed at the corner of the ring right in front of the announce desk. So people just kept walking in front of it and standing in front of it and dancing. It was pretty great.
Wait, and Dick Masterson voluntarily went to this event?
Oh, to wear a Sweetie Squad shirt, yes. Basically to laugh at Ralph getting served.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the internet wrestling
Did any
community
more
is,
limbs
is up-
explode when he went there?
No, but I think he ducked out early and sold off all of his cocaine.
I mean,
As
you
is
should.
tradition.
Yeah. Chaggett wasn't there, from what I understood. So, I mean, Chaggett backed out of an event.
Beardson was there. He also is confirmed now as a tiny boy.
4'8", yes. Yeah, not as tall as the ropes. Not even joking. Beardson's not as tall as the ropes. Very, very
You know
little
what?
man
I
energy.
have an excellent suggestion.
Grow?
Although admittedly, if he takes up this suggestion, he might grow after she's done with him.
Okay.
Ethan Ralph can be unblackballed if he will get in the ring with the woman he offended and can go
He didn't offend her. He didn't say anything. It was one of
his
fans, and he's getting the blackball, so he should be the
Oh,
one.
wait.
For his people.
Hold up. I posted a link of Ethan Ralph responding to her complaint.
You did. I didn't pull that up. I
Oh,
apologize.
shit.
You should check that out. But I'm just saying, most things can be solved by this, so let's take it to the ring.
Mainly because
take
I.
it to
All right, copy.
Let's take it to the squared circle, son.
I downloaded Firefox because Juice makes a
Mm.
good point. Oh no, I'm not signing into Twitter.
Church, try
Yeah.
Brave. Brave is a pretty good thing.
I-
It's by a
I already
former,
used Brave for a regular browser. I'm using Firefox specifically for the show.
Okay.
He's using Firefox to see Ethan Ralph's Twitter account.
I see.
Basically.
I did not know this. I do not know this. I did not know this skullduggery of the church.
So I will
don't have any
frequently-
internet history, so
I will frequently use Microsoft's official browser for that purposes.
You mean Edge?
here we go.
Yes.
The cucks in the internet wrestling community had a problem with Ralphomania. Let me be the first to say, we don't give a shit. No one was kicked out for any chant either, and the fat bitch got paid to top it all off. Maybe she should give her salary back if so offended. This was after R
reiterate.
Squared Circle posted Wrestler Experience Rape Her chant at America's first affiliated wrestling event hosted by Sunset Wrestling and Michael Sisko.
I reiterate, if he wants to get unblackballed, get in the ring with her for what, 5? 3?
Well, here's the thing. Hey, Miss Rena.
He's
Rena!
gonna work himself into a shoot, brother.
So Ethan Ralph is actually going to be going to the bowling alley that he had his bowling event at.
Yeah, Gunter
And host
Rama
another,
number 2.
and host a second wrestling event there
Wait, down in Dallas?
down in Dallas.
Ooh.
Look, I'm just saying. I'm just saying he doesn't want to watch a convicted sex offender get bounced off the side of a table for 3 minutes.
I'm just saying
Well, I
I
mean-
could totally do some undercover work for this show.
I mean,
depending on
there's-
the timeline.
Definitely don't go to his event and pop him in the mouth after calling him Rape It Ralph.
Oh, I won't do that. No, I'll be low key in the background. Don't you worry.
No,
your
I'm telling
mission,
you not to do it to encourage you doing it.
Ayrton, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to be caught on camera giving him rabbit ears and escaping unseen.
No, you got to give him coleslaw. He loves coleslaw.
Shouldn't I just bring a backpack full of corn?
Coleslaw and corn cuts.
But
Corn
to give
cobs
you an
and
idea
coleslaw.
about
Like just
wait.
in the backpack. No
Wait,
containers or anything. Just a
Yeah,
backpack
just
full of
filled
corn
with cold-
cobs and coleslaw.
Yeah. Wait, I have another idea. I can get 2 halves of a coconut and try and walk behind
Yeah,
Pantsu
Pantsu.
and do the Monty Python thing.
but to give you an idea, while the internet wrestling community is trying to blackball Ethan Ralph, these are all mud show wrestlers, more or less.
Yeah.
That means that there's some people who most likely have a meth and steroid addiction in Texas who will show up for Ralph's wrestling promotion in Texas.
Sure.
I don't know if he'd be into it because he's a little more respectable than this lot of disreputable folks. But I may have to tell Moody that this is going to go on because he's moving back to Houston right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I mean, Houston's like 6 hours from Dallas.
it's Texas. It's day trip.
I'm just informing you in case you didn't know. It's not a
Well,
quick
Moody likes to
drive.
wrestle, doesn't he?
I believe Moody is into the wrestle. Moody and David are from San Antonio.
But the big problem about an Ethan Ralph wrestling promotion with random ass wrestlers from New Jersey, you're not there to see the wrestlers. You're there to see Ethan Ralph.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was too busy reading his court papers to do anything else, including
I mean,
commentating.
he did it. He did his commentary, and
I think he ate some cake that somebody sent him.
yeah, it was not good commentary.
Now, there
It-
is speculation that he was sent a cake that was baked with his mother's ashes.
Oh no!
You know what, Church? I was just thinking, what if I jizzed onto a Cuban cigar and gave it to him?
Oh man, he'd smoke it.
right? Because I have some.
Wait a minute. You have some
days,
cigars, or
bitch.
are you preserving your jizz in a jar?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna jizz right onto the end of the cigar.
Put the cigar in a jar and get ready.
Okay.
You see, the thing about Ethan Ralph is that no matter how sideways or backwards your life has gotten, you have to work at it to be in a worse situation than Ethan Ralph.
So, as a quick palate cleanser for this awful, awful story, I do have a fun gamer story before we get on to things that are going to make me angry.
Well,
Because
are
I
we
know
done
you
with
guys
this?
are curious. Is
We
there
do
much
have
more to
some
say
things
that
on-
Ethan Ralph is a perpetual failure?
Well, he's also going back to his abode shack in Mexico after this.
Well, he's got to get the baby back from the Bruja.
Well, I
Exactly.
think he left it. I think he left it in the care of a pack of wild dogs. You know, those roam free in
Yeah,
Mexico.
Chihuahuas.
I thought it was one of those cartel monkeys that wears like the bulletproof vests.
Oh man, those are awesome.
He donated it to a donkey show.
Well, we do have some topics on the agenda that are
But-
guaranteed to make you angry, Rune. So
Oh,
we'll be
I know.
sure to
I
get
mean-
to those soon.
I
I
mean,
know,
we got
but
OGL
that's why-
1.1 on the top on the list
But-
in the
But
apology.
that's
Any,
what I'm
uh,
saying. Let me share with
Any
you.
further? Well, real quick. Any
Okay.
further final thoughts on the wrestle?
I mean, it was disappointing that Tonkasal wasn't there.
It was. I could literally say for the first time in 4 years, it's the only thing that I could ever think of Tonka Saw making better.
I mean, wheelchair wrestling would have been fun to watch.
Oh man, if he would have rolled in on his Iron Buffalo and fucking suplexed Ralph, I would have popped like a motherfucker. But instead, I
Or no,
just
no,
wasted
like-
like
or like-
3 hours of my life watching.
Or like, no,
fucking
he
Medicare
pulls
Masters.
in, he gets a folding chair, and he hits Ralph with the folding chair on the Iron Buffalo.
That's right. That's right. Or again, just a simple suplex, I would have popped. But anyway, no. It was a shameful display, a terrible disgrace, much like everything else Ethan Ralph has done for the last 3 years. But he has been served, ladies and gentlemen. He has been served. He is one step closer to paying child support and disappearing off the internet forever because he eats too many Xanax in a day. With that, what do you got for us, Rune?
It's a quick gamer story. I have a friend named Barnhill who played a Ratkin, which are like skeevy little dudes whose job is to scourge humanity. That's not really pertinent. But what is pertinent is that at a convention, because he wanted to freak people out by being as skeevy and rodent-like as possible, he got a big jar, right?
Mhm.
Remove no, he had to leave the wrapper on. He had a big jar of mayonnaise that he had cleaned out.
Oh yeah. You've told us this.
Right.
The
Okay.
pudding in it.
No, he put was it pudding or frosting?
Whatever.
But yeah,
Pudding looks more like mayonnaise.
yeah, but he walked around eating quote mayo at convention the entire time. It was awesome.
Does he have video of this, like grabbing people?
I would love it if there was
Reaction and
video of
shit?
this, but there is not.
What the fuck?
It's terrible. I know, right?
You see, if we had a budget, we could give Ayrton, like, man on the street interview kind of thing with him doing that.
I mean, I kind of have stuff that would almost work.
We get a clean Duke's mayonnaise jar to Ayrton.
Why do I have to do it for one?
Well, no, because marketability. But second of all, not just not just the mayonnaise thing. No, we start a bit called Jazz Man on the Street,
Mhm.
where before airing,
I don't play
Ayrton-
jazz, Rune.
He's a blues man.
man on the street. But still, before airing,
Oh no, we could make him paint himself blue, and he could just be the blue man on the street.
There you go. But I mean, we get sued by the Blue Man Group. But hey.
Blue man plays the blues.
But either
No,
way,
there's ways around it.
we
I've
have
named the
Ayrton-
segment.
We don't do it live. We do Ayrton. We have Ayrton record some interviews in advance, and then we cut them up and we put them in. And then when we needed to like take that mid-show break, when we're at the 1 hour mark, we just have the news bit play where the bluesman on the street asks somebody random bullshit while doing something ridiculous.
So for an actual palate cleanser, I do have.
How do you feel about your wife having a boyfriend? Just casually eating. I'll grow my mustache out. Just casually eating pudding out of a mayonnaise jar.
Dragon Ball Evolution has been usurped as the worst thing on IMDb.
It's true.
What's up, Beer Juice?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Also, interesting thing. I have someone on Twitter that I follow who's not half bad. Occasionally there are non-stupid people on Twitter, they happen, who's really upset because they are a person of a color, and for whatever reason, and for whatever reason, animators seem to think that people of that color are purple, and she doesn't get it. So they changed their name to Proud Octopus of Color.
Hey, Grimace was black, all right?
How?
Also, Doug
how is he not?
But that's neither here nor there. Because
the Hamburglar is also black. He's just in whiteface.
Okay.
I thought he was Irish.
No.
Hey, that's racist.
Then he'd be after potatoes, not.
He'd be after the fries, not the hamburgers.
Yeah. Come on.
But the fries are little kids, then it'd be uncomfortable.
And that bird was a furry, and that's wrong. No. But what's not being addressed here though is that when you look at the Velma image, which you have taken down, but I'm sure you can put back up, why have we decided that people of a certain color are orange? Why is she orange when they've decided to make her Afro-American?
Because orange
she's not
is
Afro-American. She's not a person of that color.
She's supposed to be Mindy Kaling.
I see. Yeah. I was under the impression she was a different ethnicity arbitrarily from the white person she used to be.
This is a self-insert of Mindy Kaling.
And
it's
remember,
always a fucking self-insert. It's awful.
Rune, remember, these shows are all animated in like Vietnam by like slave children at this point, so you can't expect them to get the coloring right.
No, Ayrton. There's actually companies do it in North Korea.
Oh, even better.
Like if there's a French animation out there, it's usually animated by people in North Korea.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Wait, did you say French?
Yeah.
French animation? That's like its own subgenre?
No, dude. French anime is a thing.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be called like anime?
No, the word anime is actually the Japanese appropriating a term from French.
The only thing that's different between French and Japanese anime is instead of the F slur, they call gays baguettes.
All right. I am going to. I'm going to drop some names. Have you ever seen The Little Prince?
Make sure you pick them back up. I got tired of cleaning up after you last week.
Have you ever seen Maya the Bee?
No.
Okay, you're a savage, but that's all right. Those are French anime.
Ayrton barely looks at a screen for this show.
Look, just
The Little
because
Prince was bigger when we were kids for him.
Let's not get into this. We've got plenty of shit to cover, and most of it makes Rune mad. So I'm really ready to get into that.
So have you heard how the latest thing from the pod people on Twitter is that Mindy Kaling is secretly a Republican because she likes J.K. Rowling?
Oh yeah, what? Great.
Wait,
I don't have that pulled up.
Before we get into that, should we talk about that dude that's apparently been recovering all of the Harry Potter books to take her name off of them?
That fucking infuriates me to no end.
Did you guys saw that, right?
Yes, I did.
Somebody
I wish it was a fucking fever dream, but I saw it, Eric.
I didn't bring it up because I didn't think it was really worthy of talking about because it's just dumb.
I mean,
but it's tangentially related.
Look,
Yeah,
look,
and it's also
basically like
funny
trying-
because she's still getting the money because he has to go
Look.
buy the books.
look. I'm gonna say two things about J.K. Rowling that are not nice.
Where the
before I
fuck
get
is
to my
that?
point.
Like, I pulled up damn
One-
near everything.
People are correct. She is a TERF.
Hmm?
2, she was always a cunt. Okay? But having said that, whether I like her work or not, whether I think it's literarily important or not, whether I think she is a overblown gas bag full of I don't give a fuck, she's an author of repute. She's made multiple works. She's got a $1 billion. She deserves to be recognized for her work. And some little fucker buying her books and going out of his way just to specifically remove her name so he can somehow purify the text and make it clean can not only fuck off, but I hope he gets punched in the face.
Yeah, but
And-
also
and
Rune,
Rune,
the extent of her
She has
turf,
more than $1 billion. Number one.
well, and the extent
and-
of her
and-
turfness is just her saying trans women
Yeah.
don't live the same experiences as
Well, that's what
biological
TERF. No,
women.
that's what TERF means. You're a trans exclusionary radical feminist.
See, but
No,
I don't think that's exclusionary
No,
though.
no.
That's just stating
Look,
fact.
I don't wanna-
You're a radical feminist, and you exclude
I don't
trans
want to
women
get
from
I'm not a
feminism.
feminist.
I don't want to get
Well, that's
into
the part.
arguing
I am.
the definitions
Rabid
of
feminist.
stupid shit. Okay?
Huge
The
feminist.
thing is that when she had the opportunity to keep her mouth shut
Building
and
size
take
feminist.
her money and just be happy, she instead decided to open it. And then when people told her that's awful, she continued to open it
Look,
and
well,
continued to have stupid shit
Hold
fall
up,
out
hold up, hold up,
to
hold
the
up,
extent that people don't want to associate with her anymore.
hold up,
Well,
Rune.
I wouldn't really call them
I-
people.
So, Rune, I have a simple retort for you. This is a woman who thought that wizards would suddenly decide to stop using toilets and just magic the pee away. But they would just
Oh.
decide, I'm going to pee and poo on myself.
Oh,
I mean, that's
I
not
know.
a bad idea.
No,
I
it is a
know.
bad idea.
When you, not when you think about it.
Because
have
she
you
was
ever
never.
pooed your pants, Ayrton?
Not in at least a few years.
Have you ever
Because-
peed your pants?
No, not recently.
Because she
Look-
was never a good or creative writer. And now that she's made a bunch of money, she's bought her own press and she thinks she's a godsend. She's on the list of people I think need to get punched in the face. I think getting punched in the face can sometimes be a wake-up call for certain people who have never been punched in the face.
I mean, she was punched in the face because she had an abusive husband.
I just realized.
Yeah, but that's a
Rune's
different
like our
thing.
Lofty. You ever notice that, Larry?
Huh?
Mhm.
Rune's kind of like our Lofty Pixels.
I don't
Huh.
know who that or what that is.
Well, Flashcast used to have. We can actually briefly talk about this.
Oh, wow.
Flashcast used to have somebody who was on their show regularly every week called Lofty Pixels, and he was the argumentative type. He was the devil's advocate to most topics. He was the left leaningest of all the degenerates on the. And that's not to say it in a bad way. He just offered
no, I
a
get you.
different,
Right.
a different point of view on a lot of different topics, and liked a lot of things the rest of the panel didn't. And you kind of fit that archetype of this show. You're like our Lofty.
But we can go away from J.K. Rowling for a moment, beyond the fact of saying, listen, y'all were 9. It's okay for you to find another book you like.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
actually,
really
I
should
want to
find another book.
I want to talk about that for a second. What is it with my fucking age group and this whole Harry Potter shit? It's so fucking annoying.
Because it
It's-
was the biggest book in the world when we were 9.
Luckily,
Okay.
luckily, Rune and I were of the proper age where we were old enough to say, this looks stupid.
I
There's
thought it
that.
looked stupid when I was 9.
No, there's that, but there's also this other problem
And the
That
movies
does not
are
aff-
boring as shit.
that does not affect you, Church. Does not affect you, Ayrton. For some reason, weak-willed Nancy boys and little proto-feminist girls are obsessed with the idea of monoliths. Monoliths are bad unless it's their monolith, and everyone has to be in the monolith, which means you have to like what they like, which means they have to make sure that everyone likes their fantasy fiction. Because if you don't, then they might have to ask questions about whether or not their taste is shit, and that would make them feel bad.
I'll explain.
It's funny when this is all focused around young adult novels where conformity is generally shown to be a bad thing.
Well, Larry, here's the thing. Okay, like you said, you and Rune were older when these books were at their prominent. Ayrton, you've always kind of been a cut above most people because you're a fucking weirdo.
I was waiting for it.
I was right there at the sweet spot of the Harry Potter nonsense. See, I avoided it for probably the extent of the books being written.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad remarried a woman who was really, really into these books because she had grandkids. So she read them to her grandkids. The kids really liked them. And, here I am, grounded for the umpteenth time. And I'm looking for something new to read. Yeah, there are these 7 really long books that are sitting there. And I'm like, well, this will waste a week. And you read through them. And while they're not Tolkien level literature, they're not, high fantasy worthy of hours and hours of reflection or whatever. They're not half bad reads. You can connect with the characters. You can find someone to identify with in the cast of characters. You can find situations that you can, relate to. And the storytelling is there. The problem is, like Rune so wholesomely pointed out, is that the author really developed a problem of huffing her own farts after the popularity of these books exploded. And that's what a lot of people have a problem with now, is that J.K. Rowling's won't do, like I say, that most internet celebrities and real life celebrities should do, is just shut the fuck up and collect money. They can't be fucked to do that. And I don't mean just people who say things that I necessarily would agree or disagree with. I don't want you saying a goddamn thing that anybody agrees or disagree with. I want you saying, give me money, please. Here's new product, because you've got it on Easy Street and you're fucking up if that's not what you're doing.
Here's the thing, okay? Putting aside that I personally feel Harry Potter is basically a ripoff of The Worst Witch with a male protagonist. Okay?
It's a ripoff of Star Wars, but go off, King.
Also true.
I mean, so's the Aragon Saga, but I really liked those books too. Growing up.
Everybody's got one. Those books suck too.
Putting that stuff aside, there is nothing intrinsically wrong with the Harry Potter series as a standalone set of books. Okay? It is, the fan base is insane.
Yeah.
Because they are so obsessive, so compulsive, so rabid, so quick to defend the property, even if they've, disavowed their patron saint J.K. Rowling. If you actually still talk bad of Harry Potter, they will lose their shit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And with regards to J.K. Rowling herself, part of the reason she has this mania about her own brilliance is she has been surrounded by yes people, and she doesn't actually do any of her world building or writing herself. It is instead a set of ghost writers and paid professionals who help her out, right? So when you start getting into the second series, The Magical Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is about American magic use, it becomes completely fucking insane, because this is an English person who knows nothing about the America of the 1920s running their mouth about how our magic world would work in America. And if you don't know, it's batshit retarded.
So what you're saying, Rune, is even though you don't necessarily like the work, that Tolkien at least wrote everything that he put out himself?
I will credit Tolkien that the professor might be a piece of shit, but at least he wrote those many thousands of words by hand.
I will say that J.K. Rowling, when she wrote the books, she was a competent craftswoman. and her work was emotionally resonant with a very large audience. The subsidiary works are kind of trash.
I don't know. I'm weird. I have a very particular problem with the idea that the wizard president, because of course it's a president in America, is a king, and that they basically have their own Ministry of Magic that's identical, but unilaterally, we have the very few European-style mages that immigrated, and then we magically have we ignore Vodun, we ignore the Chinese, we ignore folk traditions, we go directly to Native America and Native American shamanism, because of course we have Native American wizards, but they're functionally identical.
Voodoo and folk magic is problematic.
Yeah, for people who don't live here.
That's racist.
The Chinese stuff is also problematic.
My entire musical genre is based off of folk magic.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're a writer of any country and you want to write about America in the 1920s and 1930s, and you want to talk about magical Hitler on the rise, okay.
Well, no, this was the magical Hitler before magical Hitler.
Right.
Don't forget that part.
Right. This is pre-magical Hitler. And you want to address race issues and pat yourself on the back and talk about how forward-thinking you are. You don't do that by pasteurizing and ignoring the ethnic struggles that fucking existed. Because guess what? You set your book on the East fucking Coast, the great melting pot, where the racial conflict was hot and heavy, and that is every opportunity to add the magic in.
See, the Statue of Liberty, but instead of a torch, it's a wand.
Right.
I was going to say an actual good idea. If you place it in New York, you could have a mixture of Cajun voodoo traditions. Southern,
you can totally see that book cover.
Look,
I can. Southern African plantation worker hoodoo magic.
Look,
you could have old Celtic magic from Irish immigrants. You could actually do a lot of
with a wand.
I know, but I'm saying you could actually do a lot of cool shit if you base New York in the 30s.
Ayrton, we all know what it is.
Magic?
We all know what it is. It's a magical mafia. That's what it should have been. It should have been the Godfather with wizards.
I mean, in fairness,
start doing this show earlier because we're not going to get to everything now.
No, we're not. We never. I mean, we can go late if you guys want.
So what's next?
If you want us to keep going,
I have to work.
Move on.
Yeah,
move to the next subject.
What's next on the subject?
Well, the first subject that I actually had queued up for tonight.
Proceed.
I am lost for words. People don't change. That's why heroes must kill the bad guys and bring about a perfect world. Holy sociopathy. The literature devil, you might enjoy this.
Right. I saw that. It's wrong. What do you want?
Well, I actually think we should discuss this. Like gentlemen, why is it necessarily wrong? And not in a fictional, ideal world like Metropolis, but in day-to-day life. Like, how do you stop a serial killer?
Well,
all right.
Let me use a tangible example that happened in real life. There was a restaurant in Texas where a man had a gun. It was a fake gun, but the person in question is the cashier.
Are we really bringing
and
this up?
Grandpa pulled out his gun, popped the guy, got the money back, and hated everybody, and left.
Popped the guy 9 times.
Yep.
Couple while he was on the ground, unarmed.
Yeah, and that was my problem with it.
But here's the thing. Fuck around and find out. He fucked around, he found out.
He did.
I think he deserved those extra ones for fucking around extra stupid.
Here's the thing.
That's like the nacho cheese on his fucking fries.
But my point is, this is a tangible example. Killing in a situation like that is one thing, because there's an imminent threat to somebody else's life. But if the Joker has, another bomb where he's going to make all the fish look like clowns again, you don't snap the Joker's neck for that.
No, that's
hold on.
Not the problem.
Not if he's gonna make the fish look like clowns again. But what if he has another bomb that threatens to take out everyone in Gotham City?
You guys are
And
getting
this
in the
is the
weeds.
sixth time that week.
You guys are getting in the weeds, talking about the wrong part of the problem.
All right, go ahead, Rick.
Okay.
All right. The problem is, first and foremost, superheroes are ideals. They are aspirational. We are
Absolutely.
not supposed to live them out. We aspire to that.
Archetypes.
Which
would be
means
the-
that Larry's example, a real world example, unfortunate, but fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other problem is that you cannot put all villains in all comics or all reality on the same scale as the Joker. We all agree, because of DC's no kill policy, that it's retarded. The Joker should be dead. The Joker is the extremist form of evil, right?
Mhm.
But I'm not going to kill Stiltman just because he robbed a bank and will never learn not to rob banks. I'm not going to kill the glue guy. The big wheel.
about
from Spider-Man.
Condiment
Not
King, I
need to
will
be
absolutely
executed.
murder for being the Condiment King.
Because you don't
There
like
were-
the Condiment King, or because he's evil?
Because I don't like the Condiment King.
That's
There
between
was-
you and
that'll
your
be my
Jesus.
own
We're
evil.
talking right.
There
But
was
we're
a
talking-
Flash. There was a Flash comic where Flash like literally defeated the Weather Wizard by just talking to him about
Right.
what was going on in his life.
Exactly.
And here's the thing, that does happen in real life. People are talked down off ledges. People are talked out of hurting other people. Hostage situations are negotiated.
It
so-
does.
What
the
about
issue-
Dog Welder? Can we all agree we'd shoot Dog Welder on the spot?
Does he weld dogs?
Yes.
He welds dead dogs to people.
Then yes, he should die.
Okay.
but what I'm getting at,
How do I know an obscure comic book character and you don't?
because it happens. But what
Yeah.
I'm getting at is that the moratorium here is that heroes must kill to bring about a quote unquote perfect world. Even though the sophistry is wrong because Batman ignores degree, right? The argument given by Batman is the same. If I kill a murderer, the number of murderers does not change.
So you
Just
kill
because
7.
Right. But here's my respectful rebut to that. Every great hero in human history has been a mass murderer. George Washington,
What?
mass murderer.
That depends on your definition of hero.
And that depends
Also
on your,
depends on your
and
definition of murder.
that's what I
You
was
never
going to say.
declared
There
war.
are people done heroic things. That
I
have
mean, we can
never-
dress it up however we want to. Taking a life of someone else is murder.
No,
There-
murder has
That's not what the book says.
No, murder is illegal. The book,
well,
the big book says thou shalt not kill.
Well,
Actually, no,
exactly.
the book, that's not what the big good book says. The good book says thou shalt not murder.
Yeah, it does say thou shalt not.
Right.
yeah,
murder.
you can kill
It,
in
does, it gives
self-defense.
you it gives you the right to
Right.
self-defense, the right to defend your family, your property.
And the right to hunt and provide for your family by destroying animals.
and to kill to defend others. So I would argue
Yeah.
that
I already put that in there.
I would argue that if
But-
Batman killed the Joker just to use that, he's not murdering him. He's
But
technically
unless one of
killing
you
him in
motherfuckers bought a
defense.
neuron microscope, we're not splitting hairs here. What I'm
How do you
saying
know I
is,
haven't. You haven't seen my Amazon history.
well, I assume you would have had an RV that fucking works by now if you bought one of those. But what I'm getting at is that everyone great in human history, everyone considered a hero in war and anything of that nature, anyone who, I mean, besides like your Martin Luther Kings and shit like that.
No, he just banged a bunch of bitches.
Mahatma Gandhi. Well, I mean,
No, I would not.
How many-
I would not actually include
How
Mahatma
many-
Gandhi on the list of people that did not kill people. Mahatma Gandhi didn't prevent deaths. That's a different problem.
yeah. But the thing is, like, we're human beings, and in a world of humans, you're always going to have someone who's labeled a bad guy because they don't stand for what the quote unquote good guy stands for. As long as there's a good guy, there will always be a bad guy.
Well, here's the other thing, okay? And I have more than once, with regards to talking to people about the extremists fucking up role-playing games, had to quote Terry Pratchett. There's this quote at the end of a book called Hogfather, which is basically The Nightmare Before Christmas, where Death is talking to his daughter, and he posits that you have to start with small lies, like Santa Claus, to teach people to accept big lies, like justice, duty, and honor. And of course, Death's daughter doesn't believe that those are lies at all, and he's like, okay, so take a molecule, take
grind
something,
the universe into the finest powder, sort it to the biggest sin. See if you can find one molecule of justice, one particle of mercy, but yet you believe like they are actually there.
Right. The thing is that the point, as the quote continues, is that if you don't believe in those things, they can't become real. Right? We have to believe in a just world. We have to believe in the potential of a good world. I do not actually necessarily ascribe that we have to believe in a perfect world, because that's where I think the actual problem is. Not that heroes exist, not that villains might exist, not that there's a question of is kill bad or not, right? But the presumption that any one person or set of people has or can enforce the perfect arrangement for everyone else.
I mean,
that's dangerous.
I mean,
that's the no good.
That's Marxism.
Well, I mean, that's any authoritarian, totalitarian system, which includes Maoism, Stalinism.
But
to be cringy and quote Batman, though, that actually is covered in the idea that if you don't die the hero, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, because eventually your ideology becomes, the bad guy.
The thing is, I know we all love that quote because it's nice and quippy, but that's
actually I kind of hate. I kind of hate that quote. I think it's retarded.
The thing is, that's a Nolan quote for a film from Nolan's very specific interpretation of Batman. That's not actually a universal truism. It's not even a universal aphorism. It's in service to a specific plot for how that version of Harvey Two-Face falls.
Well, I'd be curious about the person who tweeted this out or whatever, or wrote the article. I can't actually see the screen very well.
Black Star Art 1 or Art 444 star.
But if somebody wants to look them up and see some other stuff they say, I guarantee you this person is against the current criminal justice system in the United States, against corporal punishment, and against Second Amendment rights, which technically go contrary to everything this person just said.
Now, Aaron, are you saying that the people who believe that corporations have the right to control all of our speech and control what we think, and that we must follow the obedience of the government unless the government does something against the minorities, then we have to disagree with the government? And
before we get too far down that point, though, let's just take a moment, okay? At the founding of our great nation, okay, 1776, the redcoats are coming, all that bullshit, right?
Yep.
We were the underdog. We were the little guy. We were fighting for freedom from a monarchy that oppressed us and taxed us without representation. We created a nation that would go on to become the greatest nation in the world by most people's standards. And here we are in the year of our Lord 2023, and tell me with a straight face that our government isn't the fucking bad guy.
Here's the...
our government's been the bad guy since Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah,
so
but
the thing is, my contention is,
if somebody would have invaded, then we would have died the hero.
Go fuck yourself, Church.
My contention is the ideological perspective of the person who put out this point he's totally okay with state and corporate violence to have their opinions be the only lawful and correct opinions. So they're not a good voice to discuss, who should or shouldn't do violence.
Their point is if you don't line up with my quote unquote morality, then you should die.
Yeah,
is basically what they're saying.
I actually had this disagreement. I rambled at him. He didn't respond, if I recall correctly. With Marsupial Gamer recently, someone was trying to promote that piracy, like digital piracy or piracy of property, was moral because stuff's expensive and I want it. And Marsupial Gamer was like, no, piracy is always immoral as an absolute. And I said, guys, I think you're using the wrong terminology, because it's not a question of whether it is moral or immoral. It's a question of, is it ethical, right? And went on a long tangent about things like how piracy forms, why piracy exists, how piracy will, decline if you remove the conditions that create piracy as a viable option. But ultimately, that's the thing, is that there are people in this world right now, a lot of them in America, sadly, who are confused. They think that their moral imperatives from either society or their religion, right, are absolute truths that must be enforced as ethical actions. And quite frankly, it's not true. Your ethics are flexible. Your morals are not. If your morals say that you have to kill people, then that's a problem. Because here's the thing. To use the most classic example on earth, if I'm starving and I break a window to steal bread and eat it so that I don't die, right? It was an ethical act. Still a crime, but I'm not going to die.
Right.
Now,
so,
if you ask the question, was it moral? Well, it's immoral by the Bible. It's immoral by several other social codes that exist. But that's between me and my Jesus.
So that's actually an interesting point, Rune. So, as I think you guys know, I grew up fairly involved, like in the church and Christianity and stuff. And I was always asking questions and was always super curious and stuff, and reading other religious texts and stuff like that. And I was always curious about the difference between morals and ethics. And one time talking to somebody, an elder, which you can, say whatever you want about churches, but you can learn stuff. And I was having this discussion about this, the difference between morality and ethics, and they said, like, okay, it says it says in the Bible, like, don't lie, or whatever the actual wording is. And then they asked me, okay, what if you were in Germany in the 30s and the Gestapo came to you and said, are there any Jews here? And you had some people hiding in your attic. Would you have to say yes because the Bible says not to lie, or would you say no because ethically you would be saving lives? And that particular lesson has stuck with me for I don't know, 17 years, 16 years at this point. And that's kind of the same thing that you're talking about. Morals are more of a personal thing. What you personally won't or can't or can or will do. Whereas ethics, more or less, are something that affects the people around you.
Hey, should I spend $2,000 on some sneakers?
Yes.
My personal favorite example of this tautology or this exchange is from a movie called Lucky Number 11. Ben Kingsley is playing a Jew, even though he is clearly not. and is sitting
What's
in
that
a chair.
supposed to mean?
Oh, just people always talking about you can't be this, you can't be that unless you're that, but somehow it's okay for very rich people to be things.
I had to. I couldn't resist.
But anyway, he's sitting there playing a Jewish criminal, and I want to say Josh Hartnett walks in, so they have a conversation, and when Ben Kingsley has decided that he's not here to murder him, he throws off his blanket and stands up, and he has a shotgun. Right, and Josh Hartnett's like, "You were gonna shoot me," and he's like, "It was possible," and Josh Hartnett's like, "I thought the Bible said not to kill, even though, as a Jew, the Ben Kingsley's character would be following the Torah," and he explains that you're allowed to kill in self-defense. It would be, and there's a bit of a pause, and Josh Hartnett's being snarky and says, "Kosher." And Ben Kingsley responds, "Acceptable." Because that's the differential. It's not kosher. Still wrong. But it's not incorrect.
Right. It's like, so, I've been getting more and more deep into like the 2A community in the past several months. I've always been kind of an absolutist, but getting more actually into the culture of it.
You're not getting any deeper with that micro penis.
Hey, they make those extensions that go around your dick now.
Have you got a
seen
Baldo
those?
yet?
I'm thinking about it. But
hey, I might get a used pair of these shoes for like $700.
Look, Ayrton,
a used Baldo?
No. A pair,
Oh.
I'm looking at a pair of Geo Baskets.
Okay.
Rick Owens.
So
But
Ayrton,
fucking
just
things
make
are like
sure you don't get so
$5,000.
deep. Just make sure you don't get so deep into it that somebody tells you they got a totally good plan about the governor of Michigan.
Oh, I can smell a Fed from 150 yards away. Don't you worry. But so that's kind of the big argument, right? Like, what is the morality? Is what people always say about, like, owning a AR-15, AK-47, whatever. That doesn't matter, because every single one of my guns, for the most part, unless I go to the range, sits at home. It doesn't do anything. The only time that something could possibly happen is if I had it on me and somebody tried to attack me or somebody else, or somebody tried to break into my house. I have one loaded and ready to go on my nightstand that I can, and that's a totally different question. Owning a firearm, even you could own, I don't know, an M82 machine gun. I could own. To me, I see nothing wrong with that. That's just a fun toy. Somebody else morally might be like, "Oh, I don't want to own that because it's military," but it's not doing anything. It's sitting. It's just sitting there.
Well, let me use an example to bring this conversation to a point so we can get on to other subjects. Yeah. My mother passed, and I was left, among the many other things that I was left with, her small dog. We've had the dog 7 years. Okay. My landlady hasn't gotten off of her dead ass to come re-sign the paperwork so that I can say that I'm officially here, even though she knows I'm here now, right? But I am certain she is going to argue I have to get rid of that dog, or I have to pay an exploitative fee to keep it, right? The thing is that ethically, there would be nothing wrong with putting that dog in a home, or taking that dog to get put to sleep, or selling it off to somebody else. Nothing wrong with it. That'd be perfectly ethical. There's all kinds of options for it. Yeah. But morally, right, between me and myself and my ability to look in the mirror, we had that dog 7 years. That dog has lived through 2 grown-ups dying. He doesn't understand they're never coming back. He's just sad they're gone. This is his home. We are his family. I'm his person.
Right.
Right? He was sold to us by another family where he was probably somewhat abused, which means we're the nicest humans he's ever known. He will never understand if I have to divest myself of him. It would be unspeakably cruel to a defenseless being. I can't give away that dog. I have to keep this dog. I have to keep this dog at my own sufferance because the dog didn't do anything wrong.
And that's your morals.
Right.
Yeah.
I would also say that those are decent morals, and that's why I don't get shot like Dog Welder.
Right. And I think do we agree for once on something?
It happens.
Wow.
Hey, Ayrton. Lefties and righties crossing the aisle.
I'm not a righty.
You're a libertarian.
I'm a libertarian anarchist. That's neither right or left. That's a fuck off and leave me alone.
So I'm just walking to the middle of the aisle and like giving you a hand job. I don't know.
Well, it's not even the middle of the aisle necessarily. It
let's
depends on where you fall on the actual.
It's the dark corner where you smoke and drink and scowl at the rest of the room and say you guys suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Church, before I go off on a rant about the French Revolution, what's next on the
French Revolution.
Yeah, let's escape before we get into Voltaire, okay?
My penis can only get so erect, Larry.
Oh, well,
let's not talk about beheading state officials, okay?
Well, let's talk about Corsair.
God
being
damn it!
pregnant.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. No, it's actually funny. Moody was driving to Houston today, and he was talking to us online. And I was like, oh, man, I don't want to... I mean, I want to go do the podcast tonight, but I know they're going to make me mad. And he's like, why? And I'm like, okay, of the multiple subjects, I'm going to talk about the Joker being pregnant, and I don't want to talk about the Joker being pregnant.
Oh, no, we covered that last
And he was like, I don't even want to know. And then he said, okay, wait a minute. I do have to know. Who's the father? And I said, I can't tell you because you're on speaker with a small child, and I want your son to grow up to be a regular human being. Because I don't think that Alex, the autistic 8-year-old, is ready to hear about how the Joker had a mud baby. And now we're going to talk about how apparently one of the coolest guys in the Starjammers is pregnant with what looks like a fucking, like...
Well, it's a brood.
I'm hoping it's a brood tail. But
no,
it's like, why does he have to be disgustingly pregnant? Why can't it just be like going to burst out of his chest like a chest burster? That would be way less vile.
Look, Rune. Some people spend their entire life hiding their disgusting fetishes, just waiting for the opportunity to bring those out in a professional setting.
Look, we can't all be Dan Slott, okay? But why do I have to be subjected to it?
Well, I mean, I only saw that like going, well, that's gross. And also, that's not how the brood work.
It's really
but
not.
I mean, I understand it's an X-Men author, so they can't be arsed to know what they're writing. And the editor can't be arsed to make them be arsed.
Wait, isn't this Cyclops' father?
Yeah, that's Corsair.
Okay.
Who has a cat girlfriend.
So what is this part of the House and Powers of X spinoff shit?
It is now. So I'm sure Corsair is a plant clone.
Yeah, but
the real problem this is the second.
Well, hold on.
Yes. Yes, my child.
So start praying to church. Church, save us, make it make sense.
So what was it 24, 12 issue? How many issues was that run altogether when we reviewed that? Do you remember?
It was about 20 or some shit like that.
Okay. So that wasn't bad. We both enjoyed it, right? And we both liked the Marauder spin-off.
It was all right.
And we both enjoyed the Marauder spin-off, at least to like issue 3 or 4. I'd have to check what I got to. Everything else that has come out of Hickman's ideas from this has been like being raped in the taint. Hold on, being raped in the taint without any lube. I
Bro.
don't know if I want you to, if I can agree with you praising Hickman anymore.
Well, hold up, bro. Hickman's actually not been involved in like almost 3 years now.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Here's
All right.
okay. So my problem is that this is the
I'll have to
second.
check that, but okay.
My problem is that this is the second character this month who is a man that has been pregnant.
Well,
Some
also
years
this
ago-
was done in the X-Men Slack where they were workshopping how to do the piss baby gag about another X-Men comic. So the X-Men comic writers are trying to figure out ways to bring fetish shit into X-Men comics.
The thing that bothers me is some years ago there was a movie. It was really good, actually. It had two guys. Maybe you've heard of them.
Gay
Arnold
niggers
Schwarzenegger.
from outer space.
Mhm.
No.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold
Because that's what
Schwarzenegger
this reminds me of, and I'm
and
not being
Danny DeVito.
facetious.
And their characters were scientists who were trying to find out if you could artificially inseminate a man to carry a child to term. The thing is that while you biologically could, he would have to have a cesarean section because there's no way to get it out normally. Okay? And
Right.
the entire film, besides being funny, because it was a comedy, was about the intricacies and difficulties of what is basically an illegal science experiment. Okay?
What's this called? This sounds like it's up my alley.
Junior.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
I'm gonna-
You'd enjoy it.
I'm gonna look that up.
The thing is that I want to know what is the obsession, and as you've said, people putting their fetishes in my comics. What is the obsession with this idea that men can carry a baby now? It's like, no, we can't. It's a thing we don't do. That's
Well,
why
it's-
women
hold up,
exist.
hold up.
It's like
hold
those
up.
it's like those TikToks of people after they're on estrogen for a few months saying they have period cramps. Like, no, you
They
have
don't.
gas. You have gas. Go take a big shit and a decent fart. You're good.
hold up. The reason it's an obsession with it is because if you don't accept that men can get pregnant now, then you're a TERF and you're a bad person like J.K. Rowling.
Exactly. You are in the same camp as J.K. Rowling. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I knew it was going to end up in the camps eventually.
That's okay.
You
We'll
just thought-
we'll
you-
share a bunk in the gulag room. It'll be fun.
You just thought it was going to be the camp for being a furry.
No, I'm going to go to the camp for being a cripple.
Like I said,
People-
we'll share a room in the gulag. We'll have bunk beds. We'll make some s'mores out of rat shit and hardtack. It'll be fun.
Wait a minute. No, that's a movie I want to see. I want to see a comedy in the style of Hogan's Heroes about a couple of guys who get sent to the gulag and they make it like it's a summer camp. They're like, we have bunk beds, yay!
We'll play some tug of war
Well-
with the other gulag
Well,
inmates
hold up.
with an
Hold
old
up.
bed sheet tied into knots. It'll be great.
We're a couple of years out for The Clown Who Cried being watchable now by regular audiences.
But by watching what?
What?
The Clown Who Cried will soon be available for the general audiences to see.
What in the fuck is that?
So it was a movie that Jerry Lewis made that was so offensive.
Oh,
The studio
Oh, shit,
said,
yes.
listen, you can put your own money into this, but we don't want to do this. And like Jerry Lewis used to show this to his Hollywood friends at parties, and everyone was like, this is
Okay.
really fucking offensive and awful. So Jerry
okay.
Lewis plays a clown who's hired by the Nazis to entertain children at the camps.
yeah. It is.
I'm not kidding,
No,
Eric.
no. Here's the thing. It's actually a drama. Okay. It is the most offensive film since the Great Dictator with Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, but that wasn't an offensive film. That was just a political film.
I don't think Jerry Lewis's film is going to turn out to be offensive either. Because
No,
the thing of it is,
everybody who's seen it said it's very offensive and a
Here-
bad pick.
Hey, say what you
here's
will
the
about the
thing.
Germans, but those trains ran on time.
here's the thing.
Oh, they
Here's the
did.
thing.
That was a live
fucking
German
Christ.
The
assault.
structure of it is the reason he's been hired to entertain children. Okay, is because the children are hard to manage loading them off of the train. So when the train pulls up, the kids see a clown. The clown is funny, so they behave themselves while they're getting loaded off into the camps to be purged. It's a drama. It's a character study because Jerry Lewis's character, the clown, is not happy doing it. Right,
and
so
he ends the movie going into the gas chambers with the children.
Oh Jesus!
Right.
Fuck.
This is actually a deep movie, like worthy of Schindler's List, but people don't like it because they don't like the subject matter. It's like the movie M. Nobody likes to talk about M. M is amazing.
What about Cocaine Bear that's coming out next month?
Cocaine Bear's gonna be amazing.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
The Clown Who Cried, people who've seen it,
it's coming out on the 23rd, Rune. You know we're reviewing it.
Yeah.
But the people who've seen it, and Cocaine Bear is Ray Liotta's last movie.
I mean, look. I will at least watch Cocaine Bear because I'm not watching that other one.
But The Clown Who Cried.
One of these days, I'll get you to say the name of it.
People who have seen the movie said that all the things that are supposed to be serious are funny. All the things that are supposed to be funny are serious. All the tone is off in the entire movie.
I mean, that's possible, but we'll never know if we're not allowed to see it.
Well, no, it's per the terms of Jerry Lewis's will, it's like a couple of years the National Film Archives will allow it to be shown.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch it and review it, right, Larry?
I mean, when we're allowed to, yes.
Okay. I mean, it can't be any more offensive than Marvel's Race War. Come on. That movie was so offensive.
Church is
That's
making
actually
strange gurgling noise.
Oh no, that is actually a.
I Church, are you about to come?
Raccoon does not answer such questions.
No, that is actually a thing that came up today because I was talking to Moody, and as you guys may or may not know, I recently started working for Moody. I got paid today. Apparently, I got to go check my PayPal.
Nice.
But
can I work for Moody? I need some extra cash.
I don't know if you have the skills. Maybe actually, you've got musical talent. You could do blues. But
I can bullshit my way into anything.
You can hum the blues while he gargles balls.
No. Moody is a game designer, and we were working on game stuff. And I've got computer and monitors and so on, and all the accoutrements once it properly sets up. Right now, my monitor doesn't want to kick on.
We'll talk off air.
Yeah, sure. But anyway, I was talking to him, and we were talking about potential setting material for the game and different ways to do different things. So we weren't replicating stuff that's really common. And I said one of the things I've always wanted is something that's either inter-African or Southeast Asian, but I'm not knowledgeable enough in either area to actually address it. Because, like, if you do Asia, everyone does China and Japan. You never hear about anything Javanese.
But you say South. Okay, you're talking like Indonesia.
Yeah. Whenever somebody does Africa, they generally jump immediately to Egypt because Egypt's easy to understand. It's like, like Riverlands, drums.
Mauritania.
Yeah, but then Moody jokingly said Wakanda, and I'm like, oh god, no, fuck, because that's the thing. Wakanda isn't just a stain on Marvel. Wakanda has a stain on Africa because you can't talk about African continental content without someone making Wakanda comparisons. I mean, Moody was joking, but it's a thing.
Yeah,
people have started.
There's a $3,000 pair of boots with cargo pockets.
Are you even paying attention, Church? Do you
no,
even give a shit?
No. I'm shoe chopping. What are you talking about?
Dude, I got a new pair of motorcycle boots coming. I'm super excited for it.
So Church,
all right, buy me some new shoes because mine are falling apart.
I'm not spending $3,000 on shoes for you. Fuck you.
I wouldn't say $3,000.
What size are you, Vern?
13 and a half.
Oh fuck.
So
okay.
so hold
Jesus
up,
Christ,
Church.
your shoes are bigger than mine.
Hold up, Church.
That's what she said.
Hold up, Church. We need to get to the main event for Rune having a gasket blow.
Oh, I've been waiting on it. That's why I've been shoe shopping. I just figured I'd let you guys.
I believe
banter
you're going to be
until we were-
disappointed.
Oh, we won't. I know exactly how to egg you on. Don't you worry, buddy.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh,
Here
are we
go.
ready to go to the OGL? Is that where
Let's
we're
go to
at?
the OGL.
All right.
Let's take it to
Actually-
the mat, into the squared circle. The
I actually have no
OGL and Rune.
I actually have no idea what's about to happen, but you know, I can get you going, Rune. Don't you?
You
worry.
have no idea what's about to happen, but your pants are off and you are prepared.
Oh, my pants have been off for the last half hour.
Over the past week, we have witnessed an incredible outpour of passion and dedication from our community, working together to protect and cultivate the inclusive environment of Dungeons and Dragons. Please read our update on the open game license. To
Please
which
read the lie that
RPG
you just sent out.
to which RPG meme bastard Charles Kahn says it was just a draft. Why did you make Kickstarter agree to it? And John Ritter said Kickstarter was contacted after WotC decided to make the OGL changes, so we felt it best to move as to advocate for creators, which we did. Managed to get lower percentage plus more being discussed. No hidden benefit, no financial kickbacks for Kickstarter. This is their license, not ours, obviously. We also have a tired Lich Lord calling in, claiming bullshit, where it says the license back language was intended to protect us from our partners, protect us and our partners from creators who incorrectly allege that we steal their work simply because of coincidental similarities.
Nope.
Oh man, it's almost like I created something and then you said, "Huh, I'm going to steal that and not pay you for it."
Oh, no, it's funnier than that, but carry on. You so far only have part of the information. Send me that link. I need to send that to someone. That one with the stock information.
Oh, the stock information
about how Hasbro stock's getting punched in the mouth.
Well, no, it's still going up though.
Here, I'll put it in the private chat so you can. It's on Knitter, not Twitter, but that means even if they're blocked, you can see it.
No, it's just pertinent because I was in a discussion with someone trying to find this information and couldn't locate it.
D&D Shorts on Twitter says, my response to Wizards' official statement today, thorough breakdown of the lies, dubious claims of manipulation with guidance from my lawyer friend. Our fight is with WotC, not WotC employees. Be kind, let your voice be heard. Open D&D. It's got a video here, and then Mark Smith chimes in. All of this is raising their stock prices. If you look into the main stockholders of Hasbro, you'll see groups that do not care about losing a little profit or trust as long as the number keeps going up. This is bad. The number needs to go down for change.
Yep.
And then
they only issued their official policy apology once one D&D subscriber started going down.
New leak turns out the reason why Wizards' response are tone deaf and insulting to the community is due to WotC's internal process, ignoring and threatening their own staff while retreating to legal. People are afraid of speaking out because of fear of losing their job. Just so you know, moving forward, all leaks and quotes are run through a paraphrasing bot before I share them. A distinctive writing style or word could expose somebody. I hope you understand the need for this precaution. Good people working for bad people. D&D Short putting in more work. YouTube giant Legal Eagle speaks out on the OGL situation in my talks with lawyers myself. I'm in talks with lawyers myself, but in summary, we likely don't need an OGL at all. I'll be happy to use ORC license, but WotC exposed themselves. The OGL was always optional.
Right. So I did comment on that. If you recall, I said he was Legal Eagle was being very extremely conservative and careful in his language, because as Larry said, he doesn't want to get struck for giving a legal opinion that can't be substantiated.
Well, he also doesn't want a bar complaint for giving.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be accused of making comments about another professional that are inappropriate
Right.
for the standards of legal ethics.
Right.
But anyway, that's where we are. And here's the thing: Ayrton and I are not tabletop aficionados like you two guys are. So OGL, from what I understand, was a basic agreement between freelance creators, people that created modules and things
No.
on their own.
No. So one of the senior leads at D&D back in 3rd edition wanted to create the open game
Hey, that was the best edition.
He wanted to create an open gaming license because they weren't making money off of adventure modules. They weren't really making money off of setting books. But if somebody else was producing that content, he would sell more core product. More dice, more books, more miniatures, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't created for anything like that. It was created because people in D&D said, hey,
more money for less work.
Not just that, but whenever we've been litigious to the people in the D&D community, we didn't use the term D&D community, in the hobby, we've made less money. So we should let this hobby do what it do, because realistically, nobody should own D&D that way. And the board of directors agreed at the time, and they made an open game license. Okay. Then 4th edition came out, and a more restrictive license came out, and hey, no, nobody wanted to play 4th edition. Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted to make product for 4th edition to speak of.
Now, when you say product, what do you mean?
Modules, splat books, which is for like character types.
And the thing that you're talking about is third parties doing this not for Wizards of the Coast, but for their own enterprise, right?
Correct. Okay. Because again, making splat books and modules doesn't make a company like TSR, then later Wizards, and now Hasbro any money because of the way their business is structured.
Well, that makes sense simply because you have a better chance of selling something to an established audience as an independent creator than you do as a company like Wizards of the Coast, being able to fit your product to the niche of hundreds of thousands of different gamers.
And it's very interesting that they have decided on this approach when their previous business model of setting up their own Marvel Cinematic Universe is kind of going by the wayside.
Well, let's just put this into context with something that everyone who watches this channel could understand. Let's put this in context of, say, Comicscape, right? Uh-huh. So it's one thing to put out your own independent property, right? Like
Correct.
Your Cyberfrog or your ISOM or your Buckler or your Canadian Shield or whatever. Okay, you craft that to the niche that is your audience, and you sell a product that your audience is either going to buy into because they're all idiots and don't care about customer service, or they do care about customer service and good products. But I digress. You've crafted this product to an audience specific that Marvel and DC is so tone deaf and out of the loop that they really have no chance of doing for every individual audience out there. Whereas, if they tried to do something similar, and when they do, it always kind of falls short and is excruciatingly tone deaf.
All right. Let's do...
Like Pregnant Corsair, per se.
Let's do some hypothetical using comics that will guide us into the OGL.
Give room some space here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let us suppose that Marvel wakes up one day and says, "Hey, you know what? We'd love it if fans advertised for us." Okay. So they said, "All right, you comics guys, you indies, we will let you make your own spider characters with a specific set of spider abilities in a document called the SRD, right? It's set in the Marvel Universe. We own the characters you make. Right? But most of the proceeds go to you. Right? We're going to be really hands off. Right? And as long as you're not, say, super gross and racist, we don't care what you make.
The problem I have with this analogy immediately is that I don't see there being much merchandising opportunities for Wizards of the Coast if there is with Marvel.
No, not pertinent.
It not kind of is, though.
No, it's not.
They sell a bunch of merch. They sell a bunch of merch.
We're just talking about the basic document, what it does and how it functions.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So they call it Spider World because everybody can be Spider-Man. And a bunch of third-party producers who have the indie cred and can actually make a book, make their version of a Spider-Man. So you've got Latin American Spider-Man, you've got Danger Hair Spider-Man, you've got 26-arm mutant Spider-Man that eats babies. You've got a bunch of different Spider-Men for a bunch of different tastes. And then they let it ride for 20 years. Okay? So over time, people have been buying these spider books. They like these spider books. These spider books are neat. They're getting merch. What kind of merch? All kinds of merch. Because in addition to books, they're making games. They're making small films. They're making toys and minis and all kinds of stuff so people can get their spider world on. And then under a new administration at Marvel, they go, we're not getting the full monetization out of this. We're not getting enough money just with good advertising, even though this initiative has increased our market share to 84% of the total market from 25%. So what if we implemented a new open gaming license, a new SRD? And what are we going to do with it? How are we going to present it? I know, first and foremost, we'll reaffirm that we own everything you make. Okay. Then we'll say that if you make too much money, you have to pay us more to license it. And they set it at an arbitrary amount of $75,000. Then they said, but don't worry, if you've made old stuff, you can keep making it under the old license before you have to update. But anything new you make has to be under the new license, which means by the law of diminishing returns, you make less money as they strangle you out because you have to adopt the new SRD. Okay, well, that's pretty suck. Oh, by the way, this is irrevocable and retroactive. Meaning, if you've made that much money in the past, aggregate, you owe us money now.
But also, even if you don't make money, you have to register what you make so we can make sure that your content is appropriate.
But oh wait, if your content gets you sued, you have to cover your legal fees at your expense. Okay. If your content gets us sued, you have to cover our legal fees at your expense. If your content gets you sued and we think that you're doing a bad job of it and it's going to hurt the brand, we reserve the right to impose ourselves on your legal counsel at your expense to run your court case. But if we don't like your case, we reserve the right to impart ourselves on the opposition at your expense.
Isn't that a direct violation of the Sixth Amendment?
Yes.
There's a lot of things that are legally suspect in this
I was
new
going
open
to say,
games license.
With the right to face your accuser, it really seems like nobody else can muscle in and fuck with that.
Oh, yeah. And while we're at it, while we've implemented this new ultra nasty royalty structure, we are changing what constitutes the usable spider content you can use. And while we're doing it, we are basically there's just a multitude of things. There are so many things in the new OGL to squeeze out the middleman that, frankly, don't need to be done, like they weren't required. And
realistically, the OGL itself wasn't really required.
I mean, that is a separate thing. The reason the OGL was good, okay, was
hold
because
on. Before I go and get my refill on,
right.
Explain to me why the OGL. Well, first off, explain to me why it was good, and then explain why it wasn't needed.
Okay, it's not needed. You have to do this in reverse order. It's not needed because technically you can't copyright game mechanics. You can't copyright rolling dice. Okay? You probably
can't copyright strength as a feature of your game mechanics.
You can only copyright the appearance overall of a systemary structure. So if I have attributes and one of them is strength, that's fine. But if I have strength, dex, wisdom, con, and charisma all together in a block, and then I have a stat with a derived bonus, there's a room there to argue that I'm ripping off D&D. Right? The reason the OGL was good was that for first-time and third-party developers who needed to make content, and as you said, it's good to have a built-in audience, right? They didn't have to go back to the well and recreate a game system every single time. They were
more
allowed...
importantly, they didn't need to recreate words.
Right. So under the OGL, if you were making something that was compatible for or for D&D directly, you basically were, for a comparison, you were using a license for, crap. What would you say, Larry? Like Word?
Well, the license was...
not Word. Like Unity. It's like when you're using Unity or any of the other video game style licenses where instead of building a environment to make your game, you just borrow someone else's. Right? Under the OGL, you could build a business. Right? And WotC always got a nod and a wink and a bit of money for it. Using their set dressing, their structure, their language. It was both really convenient and profitable. What they are trying to do now is strangle that pipeline to get more money out of it and squeeze out competition they don't like. They claim, again, it's to protect our partners. They claim that it's about NFTs. I have never heard of anyone making a D&D NFT.
Well, you know who's made D&D NFT?
What?
Hasbro.
I'm gonna go make a
Hasbro
D&D
might
NFT right now.
But
no, Hasbro has.
Fuckers.
They've also made Power Ranger NFTs.
They would, but ultimately they want to squeeze out competition because they don't want Paizo to exist. Because Paizo is what happened when they did 4th Ed. People didn't like 4th Ed. They didn't like its shitty OGL, which was called the GSL, the Generalized Systems.
The game system license.
Game system license, GSL. So former WotC employees made their own company and made their own version of D&D 3 with hookers and blackjack. And the funny part is, it's not even that good. I am not a Paizo fanboy. I don't like 3rd edition. But, still. So it's not just they want to steal your property. It's we want to steal your property retroactively. We want to make you pay for it.
Technically not stealing. It's that you give them a license to use your property for free.
Right. We want to have you pay us for the privilege, and most importantly, it's irrevocable and perpetual. So it's forever, and you can't say no.
The problem with it being forever is in the original open game license, it was stated that it wasn't forever, and it wasn't something they could revoke. And
it also goes against copyright laws because arguably things you make are yours or are the presiding body's life of the author plus 70 years. Perpetual and irrevocable is Disney language that copyright recently struck down.
And all of this is because they hired somebody from Microsoft who says, you know what our role-playing game company needs more of? Microtransactions.
Yeah. First of all, they want to turn it into a digital platform and a multimedia franchise, but also they want to copy the Apple-style walled garden so that cultists will go in, buy D&D, and stay forever on their own version of a virtual tabletop, because it's not enough that they just rewrite D&D, change the OGL, and make it so third parties can't be involved, but also they want to make their own version of Roll20 to tie into D&D Beyond, that thing that they just removed the subscription removal button for, to make it harder to quit because they were losing subscribers en masse.
Mm-hmm.
In response to this, Paizo is coming up with their own version of the system's reference document. So you'll be able to have...
Which itself is not no great.
But they're doing that. Other people in the OSR are planning to make their own document. So all they have done is said, this one thing that worked out really good for us, having everybody agree to use our terms for this game. Yeah, well, now you've just encouraged all these people who are like going, yeah, that works out good for us, to say, you know what, I guess I'll just put in the own work and make my own version.
Well, here's my question. Okay. What's stopping me from literally just completely ripping off the D&D system?
You can't rip off the system because you can right now publish a D20 engine game yourself.
But that's what I'm saying. What if
they don't know that you're not ripping them off?
No, I get what Church is getting at, and the answer is that Hasbro has a giant baseball bat called legal.
Yeah, but see, what is their legal going to do when my system, instead of strength, uses power, and dexterity uses agility?
Constitution uses that you can do. That's perfectly legal. But what I'm saying is that this OGL is designed in such a way to specifically crush indies, right? Because
what if strength is this dick?
Because WotC doesn't need to actually prove its point.
Roll from a dick.
Because WotC doesn't actually need to prove its point. WotC just needs to tie it up in legal until you run out of money or until they can make you quit.
But the problem is, Paizo has enough money; they could go into legal.
What if I moved to Mexico to avoid service?
Can we play a game where we can roll for this dick?
But Church,
hold on.
Church,
the game
if you move to Mexico to avoid service, then you have to be neighbors with Ethan Ralph.
No, I'll move to an even shittier part of Mexico to prove this point.
Shittier than Ethan Ralph?
Well, I mean, Ethan's living in Mexico City, if I remember correctly. I'd have to recheck.
No.
It is the biggest city in the world.
Hold on. That's on Harry Morris's timeline. Go ahead, continue.
But if you want to make a D20 engine system, you could argue and probably win that you could do strength, dex, yada, yada, yada. The only thing is that it would probably be to protect yourself, you just put it in a different order. and you can say, well, yours has a 10 minus this divided by this equals the attribute bonus. Well, mine does this formula, so it's different. That you could keep the same basic accoutrement and probably be fine legally. You can't, however, have your magic missile work the same way that their magic missile works.
Bullshit, I can't. I'll figure out how to word it.
That's what Legal Eagle's point was, because that's the safest argument he can make.
Mhm.
Do you need the OGL? No, you can always have made your own game, right? The thing is that does this then translate to WotC should aggressively fuck with the OGL to screw the little guy? Also, no.
That is also a bad decision.
Because that's one of the things that is being passed around in the water cooler that is not being talked about. Is as much as we want to be mad at WotC, and we have reason to be mad at WotC, this was people's own mistake. This was their own fuck up. Because they should never have put all of their eggs in one basket and trusted one megacorp not to be shit. That's the secret. It was going to take time, but eventually WotC was going to fuck them. It was always going to happen. It's like gravity.
Not gravity.
I'm just saying, there are other game systems out there, y'all.
There are.
We should,
And I'm going
we
to
should
take this moment to shill for my boys and lady at the Red Room, because if you're scum and villainy like us, they're the games for you. And I am currently working on an accessory for them.
Well, if that's all we're gonna get out of Rune as far as the OGL goes, I guess we should probably just briefly touch on the final topic of how Indiegogo is completely cucked. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, you've touched this particular wire like after 4 days of being pounded by content. It's burned out. There's not that much outrage there.
He's been pounded for 4 days, Church. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So,
what?
So are we talking about Indiegogo shadow banning people again?
No, we're not talking about Indiegogo
no.
shadow banning people.
Oh, no,
we're talking about Indiegogo completely refunding a book.
Yeah, and I didn't even know anything about that book, so I didn't know enough to know like whether there's a legitimate reason for that or not.
So here we have Agents of Hag. Okay. The book that none of us really knew anything about. Holy shit. But here I have an intro video for. Oh, first off, let's get a little palate cleanser here. Comics today, locked in battle, correcting your enemy about pronouns. They agree to use them. The comic book industry is a clown.
The comic book industry is a clown.
So,
the kind of clown that's wanting to lead you into the gas chamber.
Look, say pop culture in general is a clown at this point.
Can we talk about Bored Ape Yacht Club instead?
Well,
yeah, about Bored Apes when they go into the sewer, into somebody's anus.
That sounds way more interesting.
Let's look at the intro video for Agents of Hag. Humorous acronym gag.
I can do that. No sound. Oh God.
Wait. Pause this. Wait, go back.
Yes.
Hold on. Wait. What the fuck did I just read? Did that say menopausal?
Yes, it did.
What?
Featuring menopausal woman and sidekick.
Menopausal woman. Isn't that redundant?
Well, no, she's like a superhero from like Golden Age or a super
And
villain.
she's apparently
She's a
apparently
superhero from
beating
the
up-
Red Age or the
and she's
Iron Age, I
apparently
guess.
beating up either Hagar the Horrible or Thor. Also, why is Mumra in your more videos? I mean, there's nothing wrong with Mumra, but I'm just wondering.
Oh no, because this is a clean browser.
Oh, okay. 'Cause, I mean,
I've only used this browser for show.
okay. I'm
So
just saying.
whatever
It's like
the
Mumra.
suggestions are whatever
For
would
show
come
and
up if you
porn.
watched. No. I have a different browser for that too.
Oh, okay.
That sounds exhausting.
Well, you got to separate business and pleasure and work. Wait. Anyway,
You fucker, I was just taking a sip when you said that.
so yeah. All right. So that's the intro video to Agents of Hag. Look perfectly all right for whatever this person's fan base may be. Nina Polly.
Was this blocked by
All right.
by
So
Indiegogo or what?
tags are art, buy my stuff, comics, merch, turfy, women's.
Okay.
Hi Nina, I would like to buy Agents of Hags, but it isn't shipping to Canada. What did we do? Thank you.
You're Canada. That's what you did, you fuckers. Goddamn maple syrup sucking snow monkeys.
So Indiegogo just canceled Agents of Hag, my first comic in 30 years after the campaign successfully ended with 150% of goal. I already ordered books from the printer. Now all the money, all the orders gone. No appeal, just gone.
That's the
So we
part
have,
that I find offensive.
So
if
we
they
have
if they'd canceled it during the fundraiser, I'd be like, oh well, I mean that sucks, but that's their right. But to cancel it after it funded is like it completed. The customers want it. Give the people what they want. Why the fuck would you do this?
we've refunded all of these things because our trust and safety team has determined your project doesn't comply with our terms of use.
But people wanted it. The customer is always right. The store
After
doesn't have a
reviewing your
right.
campaign and campaign activity, we have determined that one or more of your campaigns does not comply with our terms of use and platform policies. We have suspended your campaign from our platform. Please be on the lookout for a message coming from Indiegogo with instructions on the next steps. Indiegogo's policies are to ensure the trust and safety of the platform, and the decision to remove your campaign was not made lightly. We appreciate your understanding.
Here's the thing. If I go to a flea market and
Uh-huh.
everybody's selling stuff, okay,
Make sure you wear one of those collars since
and
you're a
somebody
furry.
wants to set up a table and sell a product, and the flea market's like, nah, we don't want that here, right? And they haven't even set it up yet. That's fine, okay. But if I go to a flea market and I put my money down, and 150 other people have all put their money down, and the person is a giant stack of money and is about to just hand over the product, okay? The people who organize the flea market do not get to walk up to the cart, put their hand in the way, and say, give the money back. That's
here's
not
the thing,
how
though.
that works.
Here's the thing, though. It's actually not the people who, in this case, organize the flea market. It's the credit card processors. And it's not the
That's
credit
right.
card processors. It's the federal government that's dictated this to the credit card processors.
Why?
Because there's a clause in the Patriot Act that says that banks and financial institutions need to restrict activities by people of questionable conduct and moral turpitude. And
See Dick Masterson.
And so during the Obama years, they started shutting down access to people of all sorts and all types getting access to banking, including businesses like marijuana dispensaries in states where marijuana was legal. Strip clubs heavy metal magazines,
Mm-hmm.
bars, pool halls. And this is why this is why Patreon decided, hey, you know what? Any suspect anime art, you're banned. Based just on the type of art you draw.
Any nudity off platform, you're banned.
Yep.
All right, I'll put my pants back on.
We haven't made any money on the Patreon in almost 2 years now. You can
So you're safe
take
to
the
be
pants back off.
pantsless.
That's fair. Remember when we made money?
no. I remember giving you money that we didn't actually have.
I thought we were getting some
Hey.
money, and you gave me some of it. As
I
a
mean,
joke.
we were getting like $5 a month, and occasionally I would just
Hey.
like slip you $50 for showing up.
Hey, if we start making money, I'd love to know. I have to pay for a new fridge.
Didn't you already do that?
No, I did, but I paid for it on a Lowe's card that I signed up for to make it cheaper. I now have to give Lowe's money like a credit card until they go away.
How much a
But
month?
that's good.
Suck his dick.
That one I am not 100% clear on. I'm waiting for the physical card. I've got the temporary card.
You don't know how much your monthly payments are on something you bought?
I do not. It is irksome. I know how much
You're
my
a
credit line
dumbass.
is, though. It's coming in the paperwork, Church.
All right.
But
Well,
I know
give
how
me an
much.
answer
But I
on
know
that.
but I know how much my credit line is.
Is it enough to buy me a new fridge too?
Oh, in theory, if somebody was going to give me money to cover payments, it's $5,350. I have the good credit, Church.
I don't know what credit is. I've never had that.
That's why you don't get loaned money by me.
Well, here's the thing. I have a grandfather that said that if you can't afford it, you don't need it.
This is also true. Unfortunately, I need a fridge.
But you see, our society.
No, man, it's
functions
cold
that way.
outside these days. You could just, leave your food outside.
Dude,
Not in,
okay. No, dude,
not in
no,
wet Washington.
no bullshit. So, the RV that I'm fixing up to move in, I lived in for like 2 years, and when it was cold, there's a outside storage like drawer thing, and I would put frozen food in there.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
100%.
dude. Yeah, it was so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you had to go outside to eat. But,
Washington doesn't
whatever.
get that cold and is too wet.
Bullshit, Washington doesn't
Dude,
get
you
that
get
cold.
cold. You get cold enough.
Not where he's at.
Really? Dude, it's like 20 degrees here. How do you not get colder than me?
Yeah.
Off the
Yeah, it's
Pacific,
below
Ocean.
freezing here,
Warm.
too.
off the Pacific coast to get some warm air.
This is true. That's why California.
That's why it's damp.
If you're close enough to the coast, you do stay warm enough throughout the winter.
Remember, we have a rainforest up here.
It's not the Outer Banks, Ayrton.
All right, fair enough.
But anyway, I think that will
But,
conclude this week's sliding scale of idiocy.
Which I so thought
You mean
was
you
just
don't want
talking
to talk
about
about
us.
the Passion of the Christ too?
I mean, Family Guy did it better.
Well, I mean,
I know.
Passion
That's
of the
the link
Christ
I
is a
shared.
perfect time. Is a perfect time to adapt the Book of Mormon into a movie.
Look, I already
South
have to
Park-
watch.
South Park.
I already
did
have.
it.
I already have to watch Captain Underpants at least once a week. I don't need to
Well-
watch it every day.
Well, we could talk about how the VeggieTales creator says Christian media will need to cover LGBT for kids soon.
We
What?
could, but church has
Do-
to work
Yeah.
tomorrow, so
Do we have to?
no, we don't.
Not right now.
Okay.
That's going to be a topic for another show.
It is. It is. Though, based on this and how our shows normally go, I'm thinking we may try and go live for another hour next week, depending on how everybody feels about that.
All right.
Okay.
We'll try it.
I'll hate everything and be much more drunk. But you know,
I
We
mean,
all
you
pay
hate
a price.
everything now.
but I'm not much more drunk.
I am.
I mean, perhaps, just perhaps,
And me and Rune have to
we'll
talk about
have
shit
a more
after this.
codified plan.
God damn it! No, we won't.
Look, I had
Don't lie
everything.
to the audience.
Do you motherfuckers not see all these tabs? Look at all
I-
those tabs.
I do see all those tabs.
Look at all those tabs. Was
What
I
the
not ready for
what?
this
Right,
show?
your
Are you
ability
not
to-
fucking
What am I-
entertained?
Hold on, I already put my pants back
Yeah,
on.
but
What am I looking
your
at? Do I
ability
need to
to
take them back
administrate
off?
our madness
Yes.
is slipping, Church.
I gave up trying like a year and a half ago. I don't understand what you people want from me.
That's about the time we stopped being organized.
I mean,
No,
we're kind of organized.
I'm organized. You motherfuckers, I don't pretend to wrangle. Anyway,
I mean, I'm
You weren't here to do it
70%
last week.
wrangle.
Oh,
or
yeah.
the week before that.
right. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
All right, I'll accept
Gross.
that.
That's a terrible tag